So my husband and I are going on a Caribbean trip and I'm super excited. We haven't been on a vacation in a while, so I'm really looking forward to this trip. So I figured since we're going to be probably lounging on a beach, it makes sense to make a little beach cover up. This trip is coming up in just a few weeks and I feel like it seems like it's a long time and I have plenty of time to make this, but from experience I know that I end up leaving things to the last minute. So I am really challenging myself with this project to see if I can finish it in time. My one concern is that I won't have enough crochet thread. I am also trying to use what I have and not buy more yarn or more thread. So that's another part of this particular challenge, is I really don't want to buy any more. So I may need to pull from other projects that I had assigned some of this crochet thread to and use it for this project. So I'm going to be using some of this crochet thread that I've had on hand for several years. I also got some of this from Hobby. For this cover up, I'm going with filet crochet design. And I just want it to be very straightforward and simple so that I don't have to worry too much about shaping. It's just going to be a rectangle that wraps around me. This is how I'm envisioning it. So I'm really hoping that this actually does work out. So it's going to essentially be a rectangle that goes around me. Then I'm going to split the armholes just to create the armhole area, and then split it so that I can work the front panels and then the back. And then once I've got those, I'll sew the shoulder seams. I do want to add buttons, I think, just to have that option. So I'm really hoping that I have enough of this thread to put together an entire wrap for myself. For this pattern, I'm going to go with a 3.5mm hook and the crochet thread. So I'm just going to get started by making a foundation double crochet. I do suggest doing the foundation double crochet. That way you can easily take out or add more stitches as you go until it actually fits around your body. And so I'm starting this from the bottom up. So I'm going to start basically at the widest, around the widest part of my hips, and I want that to be very flowy. So there's going to be a lot of stitches. So I'm going to start working on the foundation double crochet. And then once I have that set up, then I can start working in filet crochet for the rest of the top. Okay, so I've got here my 240 stitches that I did a foundation double crochet, and I'm just going to add my next color. I don't have a particular pattern that I'm going to do in terms of the color combos. I want to start the next row with orange, so I'm going to redo the last stitch and join the orange thread in the last stitch. And now I can start my next row. So I'm going to chain 2, and the starting chain does not count as a stitch, so I'm going to work a double crochet into that first stitch. And into the next stitch. So I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do the first 2 stitches and the last 2 stitches of each row. I'm going to do double crochet, and then all the stitches in between are going to be filet crochet. So now I'm going to chain 2 and then skip these 2 and double crochet into the next double crochet. And I don't need this yellow yarn anymore, so I'm going to cut this and leave it in afterwards, just so that it doesn't get tangled up as I'm working. Crochet thread has a tendency to tangle up very easily. Okay, so now chain 2 and skip 2 and double crochet into the next stitch. And I'm just going to repeat that. I'm going to chain 2 and skip 2 stitches and double crochet into the next double crochet. Now I'm getting to the end and I did my chain 2 and I'm going to skip the 2 stitches and work a double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches. I'm going to switch the thread in the last stitch as I complete the last stitch. So my next color, I think I'm going to go with this pink. Then as I did in the previous row, I'm going to chain 2. Again, does not count as a stitch. And then I'll do the same thing. I'm going to work double crochet into the first 2 stitches. Then chain 2. And then double crochet into the next double crochet. Then chain 2 and double crochet into the next double crochet. And I will just repeat that, making 2 chains and working into the next double crochet to the end of the row. And just as I did in this last row, I'm going to work to the end, work my double crochet here, chain 2, and then work a double crochet into the last 2 stitches. And then I'll just continue doing that and changing colors as I go. Like I said, I don't really have a particular color scheme or plan for this, so the colors might be random, or I might just fall into a particular pattern if I like some of the color combos. So we'll see, and hopefully I will have enough thread to complete this top. Okay, I got my coffee, and I'm going to put on this, continue watching this market prep vlog from Cameron's Creations. I am not prepping for a market, but I do find these kind of videos really motivating, and also it's kind of fun to see how much can I crochet in the time that it takes to watch this video and maybe a couple more videos. So I'm gonna have my coffee and I'm gonna continue to work on this top. I find Cameron to be a very energetic person. Like, she is kind of the opposite of me in a way, but I do find her very inspiring too, and very motivational, so I really enjoy watching her videos and seeing her creations. And she's got a lot of really great crochet small business owner tips and advice. So yeah, I like watching her videos while I crochet. Plus she's also crocheting in her videos, so it's kind of like we're crocheting together, which is what she also does in this particular video that I'm watching of hers, where she is seeing how much she could crochet for market prep, how much she can crochet in 5 days. And she's also doing this while watching other crochet YouTubers, so it's kind of fun. I'm really enjoying this way of crocheting and figuratively crocheting with another crocheter. I've got 4 rows in filet crochet, and then I didn't mention before, but this foundation double crochet row, the initial row, this is going to be basically the bottom hem border that I won't need to worry about later on. It's already been done. I might need to do a border on the edges once this is all done, but so far this is how much we've gotten done. So I'm gonna keep watching some YouTube videos to keep me motivated and see how much I can continue doing. So here is how much I've done so far in the last about, I want to say I've been crocheting for about an hour or so, but I'm going to pause now and take our dog on a walk. It's a really nice day outside, so I'm going to take a little break and then probably just come back and maybe crochet a little bit more, but we'll see. I do have other things I have been neglecting, like maybe doing a little bit of cleaning. So I might do that, but I do need to continue on this if I want to wear it in a few weeks. Well, hello. I was just finishing up a little workout, and fun fact, I've had this Ravelry t-shirt since 2007 or 2008 when Ravelry first started. And yeah, it used to have sleeves and the graphics and lettering were actually visible, but now it's super threadbare and kind of falling apart. But I love it, and I still wear it. Anywho, there's a point to me popping in, and that is to show some progress. It's coming along, and so far, it's still fitting around my body, so I'm just gonna keep working on it. But first I need to get ready to go hang out at my sister's place and squeeze in some more stitching while I'm at it. Side note, if you show up with your crochet everywhere you go, people will get used to it, and if you don't bring crochet with you, they'll ask why you didn't bring your crochet with you. So if you're worried about bringing crochet with you, don't. Anyway, My sister was at an event and she had some desserts to share, and I was introduced to mishti doi, which, if you haven't heard of it, is a sweet yogurt dish, and oh my god, it was so good. It was my first time trying it, and now I want to learn how to make it. Future cooking project. Alright, so I didn't get too much done at my sister's place because she had food, and that was the whole point of me going to visit her, is just to hang out and eat some delicious food. But I did get, I think I finished a row, one single row on this. So this is how much I've been able to do the last day or so. And I'm starting to get a different idea of what this is going to turn out to be. So originally, I thought that this would be like the bottom part. I would be working from the bottom up, and it would fit around me like this. And when I started it, it was very, very loose, like really, really baggy around my bottom. Except that now, after working several rows, it's not as loose as it once was, and I wonder if maybe my tension has been fluctuating, I guess, as I've been working on it, because now, I mean, obviously I'm also wearing like a pair of pants and this flannel top, so it's like, you know, I expect it to be a bit snug, but not this snug. Like before, I was able to actually kind of overlap it quite a bit. So it could just be my tension has been a bit tighter ever since I started it. But as I've been working on this, I am also wondering if this design would work better or work just as well if it's this way. So what if I make something that's a lot longer, and you can't see all of it right now, but so you can sort of see, like, this is actually pretty long as it is, so it goes just above my knee. But it could be like a really nice long sort of flowy dress. And I wonder, what if I just work 2 panels for the front and then 1 panel for the back. So if I just keep working this as the back panel like this and work all the way across, and then what I would do is have this form part of the sleeve, so it's like it would sort of flow like this, and then still have the opening. When I went to go visit my sister, I also stopped in at Fabricland because it's pretty close to where she lives, and I was hoping to find more crochet thread there, but they don't actually have crochet thread at all. Instead, I ended up getting some fabric dye, so there's that. If I am trying to challenge myself in using what I already have on hand, then that means that I have to take from this other project, and that means introducing a different color. So I do have this blue and red. Do I really want to introduce these colors in? I also have black. I don't know. Let me show you what this looks like. Here are the 2 that I just found in a different project bag. The blue could definitely go in. I don't know what it is about red. It hasn't really grown on me yet as a color, which is kind of weird to say, is that a color hasn't grown on me, but that's where I am right now. But yeah, if I want to make this how I'm envisioning it now, this redesign, I'm gonna need as much thread as I can get, and I might just even end up having to buy more crochet thread anyway. So dilemmas, these are the things that happen when you have an idea and you're like, I just want to start crocheting with what I have, and then you don't actually have enough. Anyway, I'm going to trust that I can get as much done as I can with what I have. It might be that I'm just overreacting with the amount of thread that I have, but I think I might, just in case, we'll just start throwing in bits of blue just so that it's not so shocking later on if I do need it. I kind of wish I had thrown in blue from the start, because it does work. All right, so here is where I've placed the stitch marker, and this is going to indicate that these stitches here, I'm going to leave them as is. I'm not going to work on them. because this is where the armhole is going to be. So instead of creating a whole other panel, I'm just going to split for the back part of the cover up. So I'm going to pick up stitches here, and from here I'm going to work my rows till the end, and I'm going to just work a couple of rows, and then from there I will need to do some foundation double crochets to go back up. So that is what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to grab my blue yarn that I'm going to join in here, and this row ended like this. I'm going to turn. So instead of starting my first double crochet here in this double crochet here, I'm going to actually start it in this chain just before the double crochet, just so that we can start the row with 2 double crochet stitches. And then just continue as usual. So again, this is going to be part of the armhole and the sleeve slash shoulder, and then this will form the side area of the cover up. This is very similar to the technique that I used for the almost no sew, really super easy to crochet top that I released very recently, where I just worked rows in the back loops only. And I did a similar format where I worked short rows when I was doing the side areas, and then added foundation double crochets, or in the case of the other top, it was foundation half double crochets to add the straps and to add stitches to the different areas of the top. So I'm just going to continue working on this side of the cover up, and when I get to the bottom, I'm just going to continue working the short rows. Looking at this right now, I think that it might be enough to just do maybe 2 rows. So I'm just going to do 2 short rows, so when I get to the end, that'll be 1, and then I'll come back up, that'll be the second row. And then once I get to the second row, I'm going to do foundation stitches to add to the other side of the top. So it'll be the other sleeve back area, and it'll start to create the back portion of the cover up, and I'll just continue working straight from there. All right, I have reached the end of this row. I've done 2 rows, short rows, for the underarm side area. I'm going to chain until I have the same number of chains to reach this end here. So I'm going to try that out and see if I work into those chains. Okay, I have made the chains, and it looks way longer than what the stitches look like, but I think this is just because I was making these chains very loosely. So I have 71 chains in total, and I'm just gonna do 2 more just to start for the foundation. Thread gets tangled easily, and I'm going to try my best to not twist this chain, but I feel like it's already twisted, so it'll be fine. So I'm going to make 2 double crochets. So one, I'm going to double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook and into the next chain. And this is where I really hope that my counting actually worked out, but probably not. So we'll see. So I'm going to chain 2 and skip 2 chains, and then double crochet into the next chain. And repeat that. So I'm going to chain 2 and skip 2 chains and double crochet into the next chain. Coming back to the end of this chain that I started, and my counting is a little bit off because I forgot that I've got these 2 double crochets here. So I made my chain 2, skip these 2 chains, and I had not accounted for this. So I'm just going to work my double crochet and to continue working as though this double crochet isn't there. So let's just ignore that. I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to continue to work my stitches into the next double crochet, chain 2, and I'll just continue that to the end of the row. I started to put some clips where the shoulder seam / sleeve is going to go, just to try it on and see what it looks like so far. So I'm going to show you that now. So my thinking is that I'm going to keep this as the front panel, and then this is the back of the cover up. And for the back cover up, I am about halfway through. It's not going to be double the size of the front panel. It's going to be just a few rows less than the front panel. Then I'm going to create the second panel for the front, which is going to be a bit narrower than the initial front panel, and then it's going to sort of drape across the front. And I'm thinking of having some kind of closure where the shoulders sort of meet and have a bit of a little slit going from the front side, and it'll be the opening of this beach cover up. So I think I'm just gonna continue working on this with with the threads that I've got on hand and hope for the best, but I'm probably going to need to go out and buy more thread. Ugh. My allergies are so bad today, so I'm really congested. Also, this kind of looks like it could be a dress. I'm not turning this into a dress, but it's a potential future project idea that I'm starting to get. So here is where we are at so far, and yeah, I'm just going to continue working these rows and then starting on the second front panel. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to have enough thread to finish this without having to buy more thread, which was my main concern. So I'm going to consider today a cozy day and do some crocheting on this, and probably play some Baldur's Gate, because that's also another cozy game to play. Either that or The Sims. I'm getting close to the end, and here I'm working double crochet stitches into the chain spaces and each of the double crochets to add a border. Alright, so I have finished crocheting the beach cover up. I think, and I'm hoping that this is all I will need to crochet. I don't think I need to add any more rows, plus I have added this double crochet border. So now all that I need to do is align the back and the front, and sew the shoulder seams together. And I have already weaved in the ends on the bottom part of the beach cover up, so it's nice and neat. I'm kind of hoping that I won't need to weave in these ends once I sew the seams together, but we'll see. That might be wishful thinking on my part, and I will probably have to weave in these ends. I did weave in some of the ends along the back neckline. Now onto the front closure. I've started sewing buttons along the second front panel that will go under the first and larger front panel. For this final step, I'm just using regular sewing thread and needle, and I selected buttons in different colors to continue with the overall look of the beach cover-up. Okay, I have finished adding the buttons. I have weaved in all the ends, and it's done. It is ready, and I cannot wait to wear this at the beach. Oh yeah, almost forgot to show you how much thread I ended up with after finishing the cover up. So I think blue I have the most of, and this is actually the empty spool that was for the yellow. This is how much yellow I ended up with, and I still have a good amount of orange and purple. Definitely about to run out of green, but I am glad I have a little bit of this thread left over, because then I can still use it for the other project that I wanted to use the thread for. So yay! I am so happy with how this filet crochet beach cover up turned out. When we were in Barbados, we usually ended up at the beach near sunset so we could enjoy the gorgeous colors as the sun went down. It was so magical, and my beach cover up made me feel so bright and happy wearing it. I hope you enjoyed this video and have found some inspiration to make your own crochet beach cover up. Let me know in the comments if you've ever made a beach cover up and if it was everything you imagined it would be. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.